Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we will be talking about some celebrity kidnapping stories that are pretty scary. Victoria Beckham. In 2002, 5 suspects were arrested for an alleged $6 million plot to kidnap Victoria Beckham, former Spice Girls singer. The idea of the plot was to hold Victoria and, if required, her toddlers, Brooklyn and Romeo, in an attempt to ransom them for millions in return for their safety. But reporters at News of the World discovered the criminal gang's plot and told the police. Alex Band. The singer was kidnapped while in Michigan for a music festival. He was abducted at gunpoint, thrown into a blue van, robbed and beaten severely, before being dumped on train tracks. Alex Band reportedly said to the kidnappers, "I just found out a few weeks ago that I'm going to be a dad. You do not need to go to the extent of killing me and making a child not have a father." These words saved his life and they kicked him out of the van and left him for dead on the tracks. Madonna. She supposedly went through a 9-hour ordeal at the hands of her then-husband Sean Penn in December 1989. On New Year's Eve, Madonna was found bound, gagged and severely beaten after being held captive by Penn. Reports say that Penn was drunk at the time, causing him to take his usual aggressive tirades to the next level. Supposedly, Madonna was tied up like a Christmas turkey, strapped to a chair, degraded and badly beaten, before she managed to escape her ordeal. There are hospital reports, police reports, statements from friends of the star, that give the impression that this did indeed happen. But Madonna came out years later and denied this ever took place. Cindy Birdsong. The member of the group Supreme, was kidnapped from her apartment. The perpetrator was waiting for her in her apartment, and when she returned home with 2 companions, the kidnapper bound her friends and loaded her into her own car. Luckily, Cindy Birdsong was able to get out of the car and escaped onto the freeway. Her kidnapper turned himself in 4 days later. Russell Crowe. He was the target of a kidnapping plot by Al-Qaeda. The kidnapping was part of a larger terrorist plan to culturally destabilize the United States. The FBI and the Secret Service gave Crowe protection during the ordeal, but remained quite tight-lipped as to exactly what was happening. Crowe stated that he never fully understood what in the F was going on. Jeremy London. The actor was changing a flat tire by the side of a road when he was kidnapped by 2 guys who came over to help. They forced him, at gunpoint, to get into their car, and they then drove him around to different places, forced him to buy alcohol and drugs and then to take them himself before ditching him and stealing his car. The story was so strange that even the actor's mother and twin brother doubted its legitimacy due to London's past drug use. But in 2011, one of the abductors pleaded guilty and proved London's account of the events. Kim Kardashian. She was in Paris when a gang posing as police officers forcibly gained entry to the exclusive hotel. They forced the concierge to open Kim's door, and when they did, they proceeded to bind and gag Kim with duct tape, before robbing her and leaving her in the bathtub fearing for her life. In total, around $10 million worth of jewelry was taken. Kim feared that they were actually going to abduct her. She thought they were terrorists who were there to kidnap her. 12 people were charged in connection with the armed robbery, and one of them even wrote a book about it called "I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian." Jessica Alba. The actress was acting in Flipper at age 14 when she began getting strange phone calls on set. Soon after, she disappeared from filming and went missing for 14 hours. According to reports, she was found blindfolded, gagged and restrained in the boot of a car. The Fantastic Four star never spoke publicly about the horrific incident, and apparently, the case was closed as she was unable to provide further information. Steven Spielberg. Police arrested a 31-year-old man outside the Spielberg residence while Spielberg was in Ireland filming Saving Private Ryan. The stalker was carrying what police described as a pest assault kit. The box contained handcuffs, duct tape, and a box cutter. The man had become obsessed with Steven and his plan was to enter his home, bind him, and assault him. In court, Spielberg said, "I didn't want this individual to put me or my family through the anguish, the nightmares I've had because of this." The perpetrator received 25 years to life as this was not his first offense. Benedict Cumberbatch. The actor was filming in South Africa when he was set upon by a gang of 6 armed men. He was with his 2 co-stars when traveling back to their hotel. Their vehicle suffered a punctured tire. That's when the gang struck. They tied the 3 of them up and forced them into the back of their car. They then stopped and attempted to get Cumberbatch into the trunk. But Cumberbatch talked his way out. He told them he had health problems, and putting him in the trunk would probably kill him. They proceeded to lock him in the trunk. But then, after arguing amongst each other, let him out and set the 3 of them free. The thieves took their bank cards and money, and the ordeal lasted 2.5 hours. Princess Anne. She was returning to Buckingham Palace from a charity event when her car was forced to stop by a Ford Escort. The man had a gun in his hand. He told Princess Anne that he intended to kidnap her and hold her for ransom of $3 million. A passerby, who very fortunately turned out to be a former boxer, punched the kidnapper in the back of the head and led Princess Anne away from the scene. George Clooney. When he was in the Sudanese capital, Darfur, filming a documentary on the genocide in the region, Clooney and his cruise truck was stopped in the middle of nowhere, and they were all held up at gunpoint. It wasn't a menacing gang orchestrating the incident. They were held up by a 10-year-old child soldier who then held an AK-47 to the star's head. He ordered them out of the truck, and then more child soldiers appeared, stealing what they could from the vehicle. They attempted to get them back into the truck and drive them away, essentially kidnap them, but then, content with what they had gotten their hands on, they left them and were on their way. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the video.